Hello, I'm Peter Nash. I am an artist based in Cork and I live in Cove, and I do a lot of drawing in my work, and I love to bring my sketchbooks when I go out with me and studying what's happening around. For this project we're going to do today, I'm going to show you a way of exploring your local area, looking at the animals and the wildlife, what's going on. And for me, I bring my sketchbook. You can do the same thing. You bring your sketchbook with you, and then you can make some studies, and then I'm going to show you how you can take those studies that you've made in situ and bring them into a more finished piece as a map that you're going to have then of your local area. So I just went out for a walk, and I'm going to map this walk now on here and show you. So I kind of started off my home here. And what we're going to use is, I'm just going to use a pencil for this. I just have a mechanical pencil just so I don't have to sharpen it, but you can use any pencil. And we can just draw this kind of rough enough to start off with. So I started off here at my home, and then I went out for a little walk down this way. And there's a road going up there. And then I came down here, and then this goes along by the front of the water, and it's all concrete, but then behind it there's these little planters that the tidy towns have put in, and they have all little plants in here. And then growing up even through some of the cracks in the concrete, there'll be little flowers. So I'm just going to draw these in very roughly and quickly, and then later on we'll go over these in pen. And then along the water, along here there's water. So this is all concrete because this is the quays. Cove is an old port town, so the boats used to come and moor up here. And then when I went for a walk then, and I started to look, and I could see different animals. So in the water there'd be these cormorants. So I'm going to draw one of these in really small here. And one time I've even seen a seal in the water. It's quite hard to draw a seal so small, but I can just put its head in there like this. And then what I can do is, around the outside of my map, I might just draw a little border like this. And then I can start to put these animals in a little bit bigger. So I'll come back to this later on, but I'll just carry on with my journey. So after here, I come down this way, and then there's a little pier down here. The people fish off. What I can start to do now, I have the first part of my map done. I might put in some of these animals a little bit bigger, so I can use this section of my map. And now when I'm out, like I said, sometimes I bring my sketchbook with me, and when I notice animals and plants, I can start to draw them. Or alternatively, I've got some of these in here. Or alternatively, books are brilliant just for finding out what's around you. There's so much information in these. Like these are seabirds here. I've got shells, more seashore life to spot, crabs, lobsters. You can find a lot of information on the internet as well about what things are. If you don't know what they are, you can find out what they are. But I like looking in books because I find when I'm on the internet, I end up just getting distracted. I'll be gone off on YouTube or looking at TV shows or something like that. So I like to find a lot of my information in books. It just helps me concentrate a bit better. So when I'm out then, down by the water, so the cormorants, I could actually draw I could actually draw that while it was on the water. So I can put that in here. And again, I'm just going to use pencil for this. I'm just going to copy my drawing that I've made previously. And then the heron that I saw here as well, I can draw that on here. Herons as well are great for drawing because they stay still for ages, so they're really handy to study. And now, as I said, when I came down this way on my walk, there was this beach here, and I did find some crab shells on there, but I didn't actually find any crabs to draw them. But I have got a picture in one of these books. And again with the lobster, I didn't actually see any lobsters, but as I said, I saw the pots, so I know they must be there. So I can put in a drawing, another one I found in a book. So now I'll go back to my map and I'll keep walking around Cove. And as I go out up this road here, I know there are a few more houses, so I might put the houses in. There's a tree on here which is a really odd shape. It's kind of all twisted. And I'd wonder, why is it that kind of odd shape? And then sometimes I'd be up there and it's real windy, the wind coming off the water, so it's obviously been blown into that shape. So what I might do on this side again is to draw it in a bit more detail. And one of these gardens, I notice when I go past, has got a bird feeder, so it attracts loads of these little tiny birds. And I've been able to make a couple of drawings while I was up there. One of them is a blue tip, which is a really distinctive colour, and it's quite easy to recognise because it has this kind of blue hat on. You might think that you'd never be able to tell what bird is what, but when you're out looking, you'd be surprised when you start to notice the different colours on them and the different environments where they be. You'd start to recognise familiar ones. So that's my map started out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish doing my drawings around the edge, and then I'm going to go over it all with a Fineliner pen and some colours just to make it a bit bolder. And I actually have this really handy little book, and it just has the tree in winter, summer, the leaves, the seed pods. These sycamores have these little helicopters that spin down to the ground. So now I've got all my drawings done, penciled out, I can start to tighten it up a little bit and just make it jump off the page a bit more, or make it a bit bolder by going over one of these, which is it's a Fineliner pen. Or you could use a biro. So I'm just going to start on my map. Maybe if these lines are a bit too dark, I could rub them out, but I think for today it should be okay. So what I can do now is I'm just going to keep working away on this drawing. I'm going to go around all of the pencil lines with my fineliner just to make it a bit bolder. And then once I've done that with everything, I can start just to put in a bit of colour. So first off, I'm going to start on my crab here. So I'll just take my orange, we can carry on doing this the whole way around, and then we can start putting some colour into our map. So I'll colour in these trees. And then once we have everything drawn and we have them coloured in, we can start to locate where we found these actual animals and plants on the map. Any handy way of doing that is just to number where you saw them. So I'm going to start off down here with my heron. So I'll just put a number 1. 1. Heron. Number 2. Number 2. Crab. So there we have it. So that's my map of my local area of Cove with the different animals and plants that I noticed along the way. And a really interesting thing that you can do now is once you have all these things mapped out for yourself, you can retake this route at different times of the year and you'll notice different animals. You'll see the birds will be behaving differently. In the springtime they'll be nesting. The plants obviously will be different, like the bluebells will maybe come out in April, May. The trees, there'll be so many different stages that they're at, depending what time of year you go. And yeah, I just hope that maybe you could use some of these techniques to make your own maps and to find out what's going on in your own local area.